entertainment, 100% electricity, 100%
Pipebomb Radio with your host, Felix Olmedo.
Be the man! You gotta beat the man!
Austin James.
And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
And Nate Milton.
Can you dig it,
sucker?
Welcome back, everybody. It's Tuesday night. You know what time it means. It is time for yet another guest calling. Another guest calling in. Hello. Another guest to join us. Where's my mind at today? I don't know. How you doing, Austin? You doing all right? How was your weekend exciting trip that you did? You were a busy man this weekend.
It was phenomenal. My voice is not doing that well at all because, you know, in Louisiana, you never know when lightning's going to strike with the weather because, you know, it's cold. And then it goes to hot within a minute. And I got caught between the Clash of the Champions right there. And I'm doing fine, but my voice isn't up to par like it usually is. But I know you guys like to hear my voice every Tuesday night.
Well, I can say conspicuous by his absence tonight. Hopefully he might make it, but he may not. Is our partner in crime, Nate Milton.
Yeah,
he could not be with us. Hopefully he can make it in time, maybe not. That's okay if he can't. But Nate, damn it, you left me alone with this authority-loving freak. I'm just kidding. But tonight's guest, you know, he has been with us before. He is a great guy, definitely got a good head on his shoulders, and knows what he wants and is pursuing it with everything in him to make this dream a reality and then some for not only himself, but obviously his girlfriend's involved in wrestling as well. These guys are an amazing couple. They're great people, and well, I can't say enough good things about them. I referred to
earlier in the day,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
on Pipebomb Radio's Twitter account, NWA President Bruce Stark actually, tweeted us at Pipebomb Radio, Houston Carson, the next big thing.
Or future big thing, isn't that what he said?
One of the two. I know it's something like that, but I mean, and it's on the Pipebomb Radio Twitter account. And Houston Carson is, one of the best in the state of Texas. In the world, in my opinion. And just such a great guy, without a doubt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got a lot to talk about, and we will get this party started here momentarily. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he is calling in. Just going to see. I believe that is him, so let's see. Is this Carson?
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Well, Austin told me you might call in right at the top of the hour, so I was like, well, I'll take a gamble. What the hell? All right. How you doing, pal? You doing all right? It's been a long time.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing great. I might talk with a little bit of a stuffed-up nose here. Just got over the flu, so my apologies beforehand.
You and me the same.
Austin and Houston are both under the weather today. Well, that's okay. We'll make it work.
Make it work. Right between in Louisiana, like I was saying earlier, it's cold and for a second, then turn your skull. It gets really hot, and I get caught up in between the Clash of the Champions. So, my voice isn't doing that well, but we're speaking with the Texas line tonight, so everything's going to be great.
Absolutely.
All right, yeah, it's bad when that weather gets hot and cold like that.
Amen to that. And I'm going to kick it off, man. I'm going to ask you. It's been almost 2 years since we had you on. You've undergone quite a transformation. You've gone, and done some big things. There's a lot of changes going on for you now. So, update us on what you've been up to over the last 2 years.
Well, if it was 2 years ago, I was not the Texas Lion yet. I do not believe. That's correct, right? Last time I was on.
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I've created this character, and it's really skyrocketed me to a lot of places. And, my intensity's gone up in the ring. I've matured. I've grown, as far as character, as far as my body, my stature. And everything's going really great, man. Won some titles along the way, some heavyweight titles here in Louisiana. And main thing is I haven't taken any steps back, only steps forward.
And that evolution that into the Texas line is ultimately would definitely garnered you so many different titles in the past years. And what I want to ask you is, before starting professional wrestling in high school, was there any amateur wrestling in your background?
No amateur wrestling.
So what about football, basketball?
Yeah, I played sports for sure, but I never knew much about amateur wrestling until I went to my professional wrestling school, and they taught us a little bit of everything there, and I respect the hell out of amateur wrestlers. That is not an easy sport at all.
And you guys just recently had an event. I was just talking to Austin about that. You might have overheard a little bit. You guys had an event over the weekend. How did that go? Everything, I mean...
Oh, yeah, we had...
Too much details. How did that event go for you?
Yeah, we had Lone Star Championship Wrestling, formerly NWA Houston. We had them, that show in Cypress, Texas, and they haven't ran a show there in, I believe, maybe 3 months or so. And, the people were ready to come back, and they sold the venue out, and that was one of the hottest shows they've ever had in that town. Mm-hmm. And the main event was myself. I'm the Lone Star Heavyweight Champion, and I faced Cowboy James Claxton. And we tore it up, and, lots of crazy things happened in that match. Steve Anthony came out to try to get revenge on me, and then Shane Taylor came out to get some revenge on everybody, and ended up being a no contest because of disqualification. I kept my title, and they have it set now for March 13th, the next show, a four-way championship match with all four of us, me, Cowboy Claxton, Steve Anthony, and Shane Taylor. So the only bad thing about that is I don't have to be pinned to lose my title, so that's going to be a tough one for me.
And, I was actually there this past Saturday night, and I got to tell you that the atmosphere in that VFW hall was unlike anything I've ever been a part of in my life. Everything was down pat. Those fans, had everything, their chants and all of it was just so awesome. And I cannot imagine how it's going to be. And I believe in March is Lone Star Championship Wrestling's next show, and it's on their Facebook page. I cannot even imagine with that four-way how it's going to be like in that building.
Yeah, we're going to blow the roof off that place for sure.
And have you done any traveling as far as, with the NWA, I know they do a lot of trips out to Japan. Is that something that you might be looking forward to doing soon, maybe, or have you done it already?
No, I haven't gone yet, but a trip to Japan is definitely in my plans for early to mid 2015. So keep your eyes open. You'll see me over there before too long.
Now the Texas Lion has a lot of potential people it can face in Japan, but Japanese wrestling is a world different than what we have here in the United States. And who do you think you can match up against? The Texas Lion versus who? Who is that guy that you think is your formidable opponent?
Well, I'll tell you this, Austin. After Kojima came to Texas and faced me, and I had that match, and I kept up with him in the ring and stayed just as strong, and I came out. I lost the match, but I came out of it standing up. It was a close call. After facing Kojima, I can see myself facing almost anybody in Japan now.
Mm.
Have you ever thought about working with, if he's been in and out of retirement, but he's still kind of somewhat active. What about ever stepping in the ring with Japanese wrestling legend, the Great Muta?
Oh, of course, yeah. I saw him. He was on TNA on a special episode or something not too long ago. I believe was it him and Robbie E had an angle, didn't they?
Yeah, where he took one of his proteges, and it all led up to I think a match where he teamed up with, and correct me if I'm wrong, Austin, with Tajiri. Am I right?
Yeah.
Something to that where it led to a tag team match like that.
Yeah.
You know what? TNA is not visible to everybody, but for those who do watch it, I'm pretty sure that's right. So.
Yeah.
Just they moved off the spike now. So.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
match would be incredible. It'd be something good for our resume too.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely. And NWA has a yearly thing. I believe it's going to be in Texas within the next couple of months. NWA Invasion. They did that, I think, 2 years ago or last year, and that's where all the Japanese guys, a few of them like Jushin Thunder Liger, come to the United States and just do kind of a tour around the United States. And I think it'd be a great opportunity. Always for the NWA and New Japan Pro Wrestling to clash. And I believe next week, Bruce Starr, the NWA president, is going to be in Japan representing Rob Conway and Chase Owens. Now, Bruce Stark, the NWA president, like I mentioned earlier on Twitter, actually mentioned you saying, you're the next big thing in the state of Texas and NWA and professional wrestling as a whole. What does that comment mean to you?
Oh, that means the world to me. The great thing about Bruce Stark is not only is he my boss, but, we're great friends, too. And he's just an awesome guy, and he loves wrestling. He loves it with all of his heart, and you can tell that. And all he wants to do is see his wrestlers succeed. And when he believes in somebody, he really believes in you. And, I mean, thank God I'm one of the guys he believes in. He sees my hard work. He sees my determination. And for him, to say something like that, that just means I'm in his good graces. And that's all you could want, from your boss, something like that, especially a guy that can get you overseas to all these, Japanese shows and things like that.
I got to ask, too, because I've noticed, and maybe it's just me from noticing it, but you obviously work with Mr. Tharp a lot. He gives me that impression he gives me the old school feel of like one of the old school managers, like way back in the day, maybe a Jimmy Hart or a Grand Wizard that's always with the colorful jackets and running around and screaming and just being a quintessential old school manager type of person. Even though he's the NWA president. But you know what I'm saying?
No, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what he is. Very charismatic.
Now, starting out in professional wrestling, who exactly were you trained by? Who was the guy that mentored you? And besides the actual person who trained you, any person along the way that really you give credit to making you into the man you are today?
Yeah, when I first started, I was trained in Austin, Texas, at America's Academy of Pro Wrestling, and the head trainer was an older man named George De La Isla. He used to go by the name Mr. Mexico in the California Territory days. He'd travel around with Roddy Piper and them. And he had another guy named Papa Don. Ray was his real name. He would train us too. And those were my two main trainers, and they taught me the foundation I needed to know, my ring psychology, my basics. They packed into my head every week. And then they kind of just sent me on my way once I graduated the gauntlet. And along the way, some of the guys who've helped me the most, you just mentioned one of them, Rob Conway. I have so much to owe to that guy as far as me opening up, getting out of my shell and knowing how to talk on a microphone and what to do with the crowd at right times. Him and Charlie Haas, huge influence on my career. I had lots of feuds with him. And every time, it was incredible how much I would learn because he was in WWE, I think, for 9 or 10 years. And, the things you learn. And then, it's so nice of him to pass it down to me. Somebody else, speaking of Japan, Lance Hoyt, that guy living in Texas, I see him all the time. He's just full of knowledge. Every time I see him, not afraid to help guys that he knows he sees working hard. And then we have Funaki here in San Antonio, who I see all the time, and Funaki's giving me a lot of opportunities as far as WWE tryouts and things like that, and fixing me and critiquing me here and there. And, I'm pretty proud of my list of people who helped me because these guys, all have great accolades themselves.
I got to ask your opinion, obviously, first off, because we're going to talk about it a little bit later. But with the controversy surrounding one of Austin's favorite tag teams, I have to go with the Ascension. If you caught Raw, or at least a clip of it, what did you think about that whole little old school beatdown that they got at the hands of the APA and the Outlaws? What did you think of Raw Reunion overall, I guess you could say?
I love it. Yeah, I DVR Raw, and I watch it every Monday, I get in, and fast forward and, make sure I'm catching up because, at the end of the day, I'm still a fan. I like to see what they're doing, and I definitely want to see what they're doing because, I'm aspiring to work there. And I saw that the other day, and there's a lot of things don't make me mark out, but, seeing things that bring back your childhood like that, the whole Ascension angle the other night, it was great. The APA were never my favorite wrestlers as a kid, but my favorite theme song was their theme song. And when things like that come on, they come back. You feel the goosebumps on your body, and you get those memories in your head. And Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, it's just great seeing those guys out there.
And you got to mention one guy at the end of the night they call him the Vigilante now. Sting had to interrupt, the match between John Cena and Seth Rollins, and basically staring right in the eyes of Triple H, who I know was an inspiration in I believe, in your wrestling career. What do you think about the whole entire possible rivalry with Triple H and Sting in the future? Because I believe in Dallas next year, WrestleMania 32 is going to be invading it.
I was just about to ask that, too.
Yeah, you're right about Triple H being an inspiration for me. He's all around just an idol for me, and he always has been ever since I was a kid. When I was a kid, just like him, I looked up to the wrestlers that had the larger-than-life characters and had huge muscles, long hair. And, if I tell you my favorite wrestlers right now on my list, they all were muscular, white, with long hair, and it's just like me. That's why I imitate them, because that's what made me fall in love with this business. And to see something like maybe Triple H coming back to do something with Sting, another guy we all grew up with, that's just like that meme on the internet that says, "Just take my money right now." It's just like, it's exactly what that is. It's once in a lifetime thing, and it's great for the company because the ratings are going to shoot through the roof with something like that, and it's just all around good for business.
Absolutely. And
I got to ask.
I was just going to ask. I mean, if you with WWE WrestleMania 32 coming to the Texas area, any plans on possibly making it to the show? What do you think? Is it too soon to tell?
Too soon to tell. I haven't really thought about it, but I mean, it'd be nice to go check it out. It's always fun to go back and sometimes be a fan. But I'd sure rather be in the show than be in the stands.
Understood that.
Now there's companies like in the world of professional wrestling, Ring of Honor, who is a definite outstanding company in my opinion. Always puts on some of the best shows you can feast your eyes on. I believe you wrestled for them last year when they came to San Antonio. Is there any aspirations to wanting to head back to Ring of Honor and really get into it?
Oh, of course, yeah. That you're correct. I wrestled for them last year, and everybody from management down to everybody on the roster, everybody's so nice, and they take you in like you've been there forever. And they run an A+ show. It's from production to talent to storylines, it's all great, and they hit it out of the park every time they're anywhere. And I had a great time, and to answer your question, I would sign a contract in a heartbeat if it was offered to me.
Now, with the recent announcement of the return of the Tough Enough series and then putting them on WWE Network, they've actually started recruiting stars for the next season. Do you see yourself maybe interested in maybe trying out for that, or maybe you or your lady trying out for it and seeing if you can make it? What do you think?
I hate to say this, but Tough Enough's never been something I've been interested in, and when it first started, it was all shoot and real, but it seems as it's gone on. They've added a few gimmicks and storylines to it, and then they label you a character. And it'd be one thing I don't want to happen to me is I don't want to make it really close to the end and then have this character on TV that I'm not and not make it, and then I'm labeled that character for the rest of my career. I'd much rather get into the company. Yeah, I'd much rather get into the company a different way than that. Instead of, I never want skid marks. Nobody's ever going to live that kid down.
Oh God! Oh God!
Yeah,
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, every time somebody sees it, they think skid marks, crybaby that missed his girlfriend from the show, and that's what it was. It was a TV show, and they did good. I don't want to be labeled anything. I don't want to be a reality star. I want to be a wrestling superstar.
It's a better way to sum it up. And with your upcoming shows you got coming up, I got to ask. Go ahead and throw out some plugs. I know you got shows. You got your social media. How can they keep up with you? I know you got a Facebook. You have Twitter. I'm not sure about Instagram. Plug it. Let's see what you got, man.
Yeah, I definitely have all three of those. Instagram, it's at Houston Carson. Twitter's at Carson_TX. And my Facebook's, my name, Houston Carson. And every event I have, I throw up on all of those. But, some important ones we have coming up. The most important one I can think of is Branded Outlaw Wrestling is having their third anniversary show February 21st in San Antonio, Texas. And that card is about the most stacked card you'll see anywhere. We have, I'll be facing Lance Hoyt, and Rob Conway will be back. We have Jack Stane against Luke Gallows. We'll have Charlie Haas against Mike Dell. Amber O'Neal against Barbie Hayden. The list goes on. It's going to be Ray Rowe versus Andy Dalton, all in one show. And so, I mean, if you're anywhere close to San Antonio, make the drive for that one.
Oh, yeah. I wish I lived in Texas. So it seems like everywhere down in the South there's always wrestling going on. But anyways, I digress. Yeah. I'm just complaining because I'm not close enough, but that's just me. Austin knows all about that. So with that, pal, I just want to thank you for coming back on the show again and updating us on what you've been up to and how things are going with you and Barbie. And, we wish you guys all the best. You guys, we're big fans of you guys, and we always will be. Hopefully, and I'm going to still work on this. I told Austin, I told you this too, Carson, that one of these days, and I was expecting him to call, the Starks, of course, is to get you, Starks, and Barbie on the phone together and do a three-way interview and just have some fun. I think that would be listeners would get a kick out of that.
Yeah, that'd be a good time.
But we wish you the best, man. Hopefully we'll get you back here again real soon, and I hope you have a great night.
Thank you, guys. I always enjoy being on Pipebomb, and thank you for having me, and hope everybody's doing okay. Thank you for all the support, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Sounds like a plan, bro. You take care.
All right, too. Thank y'all very much. Good night.
Good night. And there you have it, folks. The one and only Houston Carson. One bad mamma jamma. There you go. How about that?
Yeah, Houston Carson is always great to talk to. I wish my voice was better than it is today because I was really looking forward to speaking to him, and I looked at him, I really enjoyed it. It's always an enjoyment to speak to. He's a Texas Lion. I mean, a guy whose future is so bright, you have to put some shades on, like Shawn Michaels said in the past. And now I can speak kind of better. But speaking of we were speaking about Sting and the authorities this past Monday night on Raw. Definitely a Raw reunion, but it wasn't a reunion for Sting because Sting made his official Raw debut this past Monday night.
He did, and I have to say on a side note, and you could probably agree with me on this too, because in a sense they actually like to do these reunion / old school Raws around this time to get people talking about the Royal Rumble and just talking in general. I believe this past Raw should have been the best way to kick off 2015 in my opinion, because it was done very well. They pushed the storylines a little further to get everybody interested in the main event. We finally seen a competition and, of course, a fight between Seth Rollins and Brock. Usually it's between Brock and Cena. Cena had his back against the wall, came out swinging, and obviously everybody, if you didn't think he was going to win it, folks, come on. You knew he was going to come out of this somehow. Nobody expected Sting to come in. Maybe some predicted it. I don't know.
You know what?
But
he was there.
Sting, and it was nice.
The vigilante Sting keeps on cheating because, Seth Rollins, the undisputed future of the WWE, was cheated again. And Sting's going to keep on coming in and coming back and keep on doing that, keep on cheating. You might just call him the cheating Sting instead of vigilante because that's what he's doing. He's coming out of the
I don't know about that because you know what? He hasn't really touched anybody. He hasn't really done anything.
He's pointing fingers. Let me ask you a question, Phil. If I point a finger at you for 5 seconds, you're gonna get pretty angry too. Especially if you're in a match trying to concentrate with only 6 days to go into the Royal Rumble.
But who was supposed to concentrate on the match? That was Seth Rollins, not Triple H. Triple H got distracted, and so did his henchman. And Seth Rollins took it upon himself to pay attention too. So,
you know what, Felix? People give Triple H a bad rap. He loves kids. And
go ahead, throw it out there.
Yeah, I know.
Throw it out there. You know you want to.
Triple H is such a good guy. Consoling a kid at ringside. That's how much he loves the fans, the WWE universe. And you know what? Triple H is always going to be that type of guy. And him and Sting undoubtedly are going to have a match at WrestleMania 32 or maybe even 31 in your neck of the woods.
Well, I'd like to think at this point with them announcing 32 in Dallas, it's Dallas, right? AT&T. I didn't watch
Dallas.
I'm sorry. I know it's in Texas. I believe it was the AT&T Center thingy that holds like 100,000 people in there or something. You know, Vince and his arrogance and cockiness and just, you know, the fact that he's done it before, he's going to shoot for trying to fill that sucker up and making another record, I bet you.
He will. You know, Vince McMahon, he's he's definitely the person who's undoubtedly the guy who creates magic. WrestleMania is his creation, and for some reason, I just gotta say, one of my number one things I want to do in my life is to get in that man's head, because he is a mastermind.
None of us would last a minute. None of us on this planet would last a minute in his mind. He is that crazy, and he's crazier as he gets older.
And the guy's like 68 years old, I believe, and
he's pushing. He's gonna be 70 in August.
Yeah, 70 in August. That's what I said. And he's 70 years old almost, and he's still pushing it far more than so many other people. People are complaining. You know what he does? He's like, a guy calls him to work and says he's sick. He's like, you can be sick at work too. So why not come over to the headquarters and hang with me? And half of them can't even do it. Because they're not Vince McMahon. And there's never going to be another Vince McMahon. That's for damn sure. Triple H is going to come close. I trust him so much. I mean, Triple H has that future in the palm of his hand, and he knows what he's doing. And that's why Triple H is overall, in the position he's in.
Overall, it was good to see the NWO return, and then the Ascension. The whole idea definitely. Hold on. It's not a bad thing. It was a good thing because if you think about it, these guys are getting a good rub from the old school guys and getting in there, because the same thing happened to Heath. I can't think of his name. Oh, redheaded dude looked like Wendy's. Heath Slater.
Heath Slater.
I went blank on that one. Okay, yes, he got a big rub from the old school guys leading into Raw 1000.
Yeah, I remember he was finished off by Lita.
Of course, that's what I was saying, ultimately leading to losing to Lita, but I wouldn't have minded losing to Lita. I'm just saying. But
I would.
These guys, JBL has been very vocal about him. His displeasure of his team. You heard it yourself. JBL doesn't shy away from something if he feels bad about it, if he doesn't like it, he'll say it. And he got back in there and showed that the old dog still has one more clothesline from hell left in him.
He's always going to have another clothesline, but I got to say, it wasn't for the Ascension. Victor or Connor shouldn't have got that. He didn't deserve that. What did he do to deserve a clothesline from hell? I mean, those guys
run their mouth.
Demon spawn. You know what, Felix?
They ran their mouth against
all I'm saying is the Ascension might be a demon spawn, for the inner depths of hell, but they sure as hell didn't deserve a clothesline from him. And I got to tell you, as much as I love the Ascension,
they deserve that and then some. Come on now, I would have liked
to see. No. Let me tell you something. I had the same conversation with people this past week at wrestling shows, saying the Ascension this and that. Listen, Demolition had to go through the same thing, and they were admired as one of the greatest tag teams of all time. This is just an evolution into what today's professional wrestling is. And like I said, as much as I love the Ascension, I think we're going to see an appearance by Team 3D this Sunday at the Royal Rumble.
That's been a big speculation going into the Rumble. That they recently, with contract negotiations with Bully going sour. I guess he was insulted because Del Rio got a bigger deal than he did, and that doesn't look like it's going to happen for Bully to come back to TNA anytime soon. And you know what? Maybe it's for the best. Maybe Bully has decided to calm his ego down a little bit, as opposed to where he was 10 years ago when he left, and is a different man now than he was then. And maybe it could work for the benefit. I mean, if anything, for a good pop. And also speculation is that former guest on Nacho Mama's radio show, RVD, might make an appearance.
Hopefully. It's always cool when RVD's around, dude.
RVD is a character and a half, and it was awesome to have him on the show last week. But
I want to mention
Raw. I would definitely say it was one of the better Raws so far of 2015. That's all I will say about that.
Most definitely, and I want to mention I don't know if you had the opportunity to check out Destination America's new, Impact Wrestling broadcast. The format is so different than what we've seen, and I think that's a refreshing take on the past because, I think they're with the whole entire new, special type of feel they have for Impact Wrestling. Going forward, it's going to be entertaining and interesting at the same exact time, seeing what's next, what they're going to come up with.
My only concern and a bit of displeasure for their new home, I guess you would say, is that it's not accessible in every cable network. And if it is, you have to pay extra for it. And you know what? This economy isn't 100% at the top of the list right now. It's not. It's been worse, but at the same time, it's not the best at the moment. And for one channel, I don't see anybody upgrading. But for those who do have it, take advantage. Take advantage of it. Enjoy it. It's an alternate to what WWE is offering right now. I mean, people are going to hate on WWE. People are going to hate on TNA. People are just going to hate, period. That's just in their nature. We humans, we just find it in our nature. If we don't like something, we're just going to hate it.
Yeah, but I know
You know what?
Listen, I'm speaking as loud as I can. You know what, Felix? I didn't have to come on here tonight. I'm working really hard right now, speaking on the phone, sitting down. You know what? You know how much energy that takes? Gosh, come on. But, I was
you
saying,
must not have to do much because you don't work that hard at all, son. Anybody can do what you do.
Work hard, huh? I think the fan, a lot of fans really dish out on things that I think a lot of them don't even give things a chance. I mean, half of the people that are talking crap about Impact Wrestling are probably the same guys who have never actually watched it in the past, 3 weeks, seeing what exactly they have to offer, not even giving it a chance. I think the future is very bright for a place like TNA and what they have to offer. I'm looking forward to seeing because
we can't forget the fact to mention that Alberto El Patron is coming to Lucha Underground. He's already signed with them, and he should make an appearance soon.
And you know what's interesting about this? I forgot to mention this. Last week on Lucha Underground, former guest on Pipebomb Radio, Brian Cage, made his debut in Lucha Underground. And you know what, Felix? You actually had the opportunity to go to Lucha Underground a couple of days ago.
I did.
You didn't do it.
The only problem with that is not that I didn't try, because I did. I emailed them, and they responded back to me a few days later saying, "Too late, we're sold out. But we'll reach out to you in February if you're still interested." I said, "Shoot. All right, well, who knows? Maybe by then Alberto will be there and get to say hey to Chavo, and I wouldn't pass up a chance. I definitely am also
more
looking
importantly,
to travel to
you
the
sit next to
Cauliflower
Danny
Alley
Trejo.
now that I'm a lifetime member of the Cauliflower Alley Club. And yes, Danny Trejo, he's a scary man, but I would sit next to him.
Me too, any day of the week. Who would get the opportunity to
Twice
sit
on
with a
Sunday.
shiny man? Yeah, he's Danny Trejo. And that guy's just a scary dude. His face has so much emotion without him having to do a single thing. It's crazy.
He's been in a lot of classic movies that have been on over the years. And most recently, about a year or so, maybe about 2 to 3 years ago at the very most. It wasn't more recent, but he was also part of the television show Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy I need to actually check out because, I make everybody else
You
say
never
that
will.
show's
You never will. I've been telling you about that for almost a year and a half now. Uh-huh.
You know what, Felix? I'm always sick on those days, okay? So I can't watch Sons of Anarchy. So you know what?
You're sick.
But you can watch The Walking Dead. How about you watch The Walking Dead and I watch Sons of Anarchy?
Please, you baited me with that with Breaking Bad. You baited me with that with Breaking Bad. I sat there and watched the entire series, and you watched one season. You watched one season, and that was it.
Yeah,
not even a season, more like a few episodes.
Yeah, because I was making some ribs and put them in the oven.
Dude,
other seasons.
One of our good friends, China, is already on season 3, season 4, and she's a fan. I'm saying if she has time to do it, she's all the way in Japan, you can definitely make time.
Yeah, I know, but I talked to China a couple of days ago. Truly and honestly, I was asking her, what do you thought was better, Breaking Bad or Sons of Anarchy? And she said Breaking Bad all the way. The Walking Dead is the greatest show I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm like, I know China.
Breaking Bad,
I know
Walking
China.
Dead. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Anyways,
yeah.
Nate, I don't know why you're missing this, man. Damn it. I'm just kidding. But
Felix, besides talking about wrestling, you're actually in the transformation camp. Tell us how that's been going.
I know you did not just bring this up on air right now. Oh, my God.
I guess Felix doesn't take any pride in what he does.
I didn't say that. I just didn't think you'd bring it up. You didn't tell me you would. No, the deal is I entered a transformation camp to get healthy, to be able to live a healthier life, to just totally transform my entire lifestyle, which is not going to be something that's going to be overnight. It's going to be something that's going to take a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of strength, and so far I've been doing well. I'm into this about 3 weeks now, nonstop, every day. I rest maybe 1 to 2 days at the very most, but I'm back at it again. And I'm close to, I've lost 18 pounds in the last two weeks. And some will say, oh, that's not a whole lot. But, you know what? Every little bit helps. I know where I'm going. I know where I want to go, and I know what goals I want to meet. And that will definitely lead me back into getting into what I originally started, which was the DDP yoga, which I have the whole series, the whole yoga mat. I have everything here. It's just a matter of me getting to that point where I feel ready to get back into it.
Yeah, DDP yoga is no joke. And Stone Cold Steve Austin just recently started doing it. And, maybe possibly preparing for a comeback, which, Stone Cold always looks ready. He's never stopped. He's, ever since he quit, retired from professional wrestling, he's maintained how he looked in the 90s. He still looks the same exact way. That guy never ages, much like next week's guest.
You faded out there, son.
Yeah, Tough Enough Season 1, and that's back in 2001. And his name is Greg Matthews. He was actually not originally supposed to be on Tough Enough. He was actually in the original call-ups. He went through the election, but they didn't pick him up. They didn't. He wasn't on. He wasn't chosen first and foremost. Basically. But one of the contestants who were on the show, who were chosen, decided to not sign something. He didn't want to sign it for whatever reason, so they brought in Greg. So Greg, Season 1 of Tough Enough, going to be looking forward to speaking with him and getting a really big what's been happening over the past 14 years, I believe, since Tough Enough Season 1. Greg Matthews next week on Pipebomb Radio, and Felix, you can just tell everybody that again if they didn't hear me, because my voice sounds not good.
No, it's just basically with the return of this whole series and it being put on WWE Network. What a better way to reintroduce some of these guys. Over the years we've had guys like Hawk, Martin Casals, and we've had them on the show and talking about their experiences. Even AJ Kirsch, with Tough Enough. And since Season 1 is on the WWE Network, why not go for one of the people that were a part of the original cast? Greg Matthews definitely had the look. He had the whole potential to do it. Did he do it? And if so, how long did he do it? We will dip into that and find out what he's been up to for the last 14-plus years and see what he's doing now. And if he has any desire to get back in the ring again, if WWE ever came a knock on again. And best thing of all is to ask to maybe if he had any advice for future contestants of the show.
Definitely, because he was actually in the final four.
He's back again. Yes, he's back. He'll be back in the spotlight this time for Pipebomb Radio.
Yeah, and Greg was in the final four of Tough Enough before he had.
Something's up with your phone because your phone cuts out a little bit.
That's just my voice, for tonight. I'm just telling you this, Felix. I don't get enough credit. I'm coming over here with my voice sounding like this. You know what? I really don't get enough credit. I cannot wait until next weekend when my voice is hopefully, back in action. so I can yell at you because I really want to right now, and I have been, so I can talk about the Authority and how awesome they're going to be this Sunday when Seth Rollins enters that WWE Championship match and comes out with his hand held high, because without a doubt, he is the undisputed future of the WWE. Always has, always will be.
So he says. We'll see if
what do you
he can.
Mean, so he says?
If he can sing it, or if
you're
he can
not
bring
Seth
it.
Rollins.
No. If he can bring it, we'll see. We'll check it out on Sunday, because he's not going to have an easy task ahead of him. The beating the Beast is not an easy task.
Let me ask you a question. You can be the WWE champion, but nobody in WWE right now is the Money in the Bank, guy who holds the Money in the Bank briefcase, and that determines who's going to be the next, ultimately who's going to be the next WWE champion. And if he plays his cards right, and Seth always plays his cards right, always. There's never been a time he didn't. He always makes the right move at the right time.
When he has Mommy and Daddy,
he's going to be the WWE champion at Sunday night Royal Rumble.
He's big talk when he's got two big giants on his back, and of course Mommy and Daddy in his pocket. Let him see if he can fight his own battles. I seriously doubt that the Authority will stay completely out of that match. I seriously doubt it. He will not win it. He will not win it on his own if he wins it.
What do you mean? Seth Rollins never cheats. Unlike the Icon or the Vigilante, like everybody's calling him these days, Sting, who keeps on coming out at the most odd times, and
and that
like he always says, nothing's for sure when you're dealing with Sting. And I got to say, Seth Rollins, one thing that is for sure, that he's the undisputed future of WWE, and he's going to be the next WWE champion this Sunday night at the Royal Rumble. With Sting, without Sting, the Authority, they're going to be there, but they're not going to interrupt because they never interrupt. The Authority is fair and square because that's what's best for business. Felix?
I wouldn't put money on that, but that's on you. If you put money on that, you might lose the bet. So those of you who bet on
Seth Rollins has a lot of money in that
don't bet on it. Don't bet on it. I don't see that match happening any other way with the fact that Brock retains. And by some hook or crook miracle, let's just say, putting the quote fingers up, Seth is somewhat not completely put away and tries to cash in. That might be his only shot. Otherwise, there's no way. There's no way he's coming out of that one in one piece. If you think seriously that Brock Lesnar is going to let this little pipsqueak come out of this in one piece after seeing the carnage that he had, what he did in 2014, that boy is in for the beating of his life, and he don't even know it.
Well, you know what, Felix? I don't think you have the facts straight. The facts, I don't know where you're pulling them from, but it sure as hell isn't coming from your mouth. And Seth Rollins has proved time and time again that every decision that he makes is one that benefits him and the Authority. And that's going to be no different this Sunday night at the Royal Rumble, because Brock Lesnar and John Cena.
He does what he wants for his mom and daddy.
What do you mean, mommy and daddy? Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are the two biggest powers in WWE, and with guys like Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury, who are so good at being security.
Speaking of pipsqueaks.
Pipsqueaks, really? Well, I guess you haven't watched Raw in the past month. Those guys have been helping Seth Rollins and just making sure that matches are always down the middle, through and through. And I admire those guys. I truly do admire those guys.
Everybody. They get in there and make sure by beating the hell out of the other dudes they're facing and just taking the lost and walking.
Well, I don't see that. I never saw that. I'm not sure what was happening with your TV. Maybe you put on your illusion glasses, which is that's always expected. That won't be the last time. You're Felix. You always have those illusion glasses on, just like Nate, who isn't here tonight because he's probably, I don't even know what he's doing. But one thing's for sure, WWE Network this Sunday night, the Royal Rumble, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, John Cena. Seth Rollins is coming out the winner because Seth Rollins is the definition of everything that accompanies a winner.
All right. Well, we will test that this Sunday, and we'll see when we bring it back, of course, next week. But There are other matches that were just recently signed. Natty and Paige taking on the Bellas. Who you got? No comment?
Wait, what'd you say?
I said Natty and Paige taking on the Bellas. Who you got as the winner?
Oh, Natty and Paige taking on the Bellas. You know, with Paige and Natalia's past, you know, watching Total Divas, I don't expect them to get along. I really don't. But, you know, the Bella twins always having each other's back despite the past. They're going to be with each other, and they're going to come out the winners just because they're sisters, and who knows each other better than your siblings.
Well, they also have a tag team title match. Miz and Mizdow taking on the Usos. Now, there had been speculation that there was going to be a possible heel turn for Naomi, but that looks like that idea may not happen. They've also talked about the idea possibly of splitting up Mizdow and Miz. Again, nothing's for sure. This is all speculation. What do you think of the probabilities of Miz and Mizdow regaining the gold?
Possibilities are endless because whatever Miz does, Mizdow's going to do, and the Miz is the champion. You know, he's the guy, and you know, the Miz has proven time and time again, despite all the odds that are stacked against him, with a stunt double like Damien Mizdow, you know, they're going to come out with the win. I mean, it's obvious. The Usos keep on cheating.
When you see the fans really don't give a damn about the one who's quote unquote the star, and more so the stunt double, he does that just to tease the fans because the fans don't want to see Miz. He's a big star in his own mind, whereas Mizdow actually has talent.
You're saying the Miz doesn't have talent? If he didn't have talent, he wouldn't be the main event of WrestleMania 27 against John Cena.
Oh, here we go. Going to repeat something that happened 4
WWE
years
Championship
ago.
with The Rock, you know, came in at the end of the night. If he didn't have talent, he wouldn't have been that spot. So I would take that back. Or Damien
and how long has it been since he had that spot?
What?
How long has it been since he had that spot? Thank you. Next question.
You know what?
Moving on to the Royal Rumble match. We talked about this last week. We all gave our, I think it was last week. We gave our predictions nonetheless. Got to test it again because you just never know. And then with the surprises coming back, this is why I love the Royal Rumble. You just never know who's going to show up. You don't. I mean, hell, one year we had Piper and Snuka, and people were so in awe of that literally the whole ring stopped. The whole commotion in the ring completely stopped to watch those two old timers go at it. Mm-hmm. Or when Big Daddy Cool Diesel returned to WWE, I mean, everybody just stopped in their tracks and then what's his name? Stryker was like, holy, you know, he can't believe it. Stryker is such a mark, but he's funny as hell. But you never know, folks, what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. That's why I love it. That's why it's one of my favorite events of the year. And if we haven't said it already, I will say it right now. Congratulations go out to former guest of Pipebomb Radio, the one and only Mr. Booker T, on coming back to the Raw commentating team full time. Looks like. I know he's going to do some good things there with John and Cole with his shucky ducky quack quack and Dale.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't give your pick. Final say. Who's going to win the Royal Rumble this Sunday night?
I know. Since you turned the question over to me, I would say in the predicament that it's in right now, they've built it up to lead you to think that it could be Roman Reigns, that it could be Daniel Bryan, maybe that it even could be, by some hook or crook, maybe even Dean Ambrose. But what's to say that it could be somebody completely out of the blue that nobody saw coming? What if it was The Big Show? What if it was Kane? What if it was, let's just say, I don't know, dare I even say returning, which I think he will be returning this Sunday, maybe even Rey Mysterio. If I had to go out on a limb and choose my pick, I'd like to go with the one that I originally said, and which happened to be the one that Shawn Michaels said, would be Bray Wyatt, who in reality could win or would win probably one of the ones that we make obvious choices like a Roman Reigns or a Daniel Bryan. But my pick would be Bray Wyatt.
You know, I don't think it makes sense for Bray to be in. You got to remember that the whomever wins the Royal Rumble is the guy that's ultimately going to go and face the WWE champion at WrestleMania, and Bray Wyatt's been in and out.
Know what?
You
But you know what though? It's not unlike WWE to completely change the whole thing around and let the winner choose the kind of match they want to have with whoever they want to have, and then set up a title match later down the line. They have done it. If they could do it again, sure. Would they do it again? I don't know. Maybe.
My pick personally is to win the 2015 Royal Rumble. Without a doubt, it's going to be Roman Reigns.
You think so?
No doubt about it. I mean, he holds the records for most eliminations, I believe, in a Royal Rumble match. 12.
That he does.
12 in one match.
Well, it'll definitely be for some interesting conversation next week after we have our chat with Greg
one match.
Week. What's that?
You're forgetting about the Ascension versus the New Age Outlaws.
No, I didn't forget about that match. I just knew who was going to come out the winner, and the Outlaws are going to teach these young bucks a little thing or two about old school.
I
or
think
as
the young bucks
called them,
are going to teach you a little thing or two about the Ascension in the wasteland and not being in that place. Because if you're in the wasteland, you're not getting out of it. The New Age Outlaws, no matter how new they think they are, the Ascension is going to prove to them, prove to the Outlaws
of course they're not
how
new.
old they're going to be in the ring.
These two guys are over 50. There's no way they're new. Obviously, they're not new. But they can move around like they're still new.
Yeah, but the Ascension is going to show them, exactly what they have to offer.
I would have preferred it to have been the APA, but that's just my choice to face the Ascension. But that's okay. I still see that Bradshaw and Farouk, the Ron Simmons, whatever you want to call them, these guys put on some amazing, powerful matches that when you watch these matches, you can feel their opponent's pain. Let's just put it that way. But I know John would probably be sufficient to stay retired and just do commentating for now. So that's cool. I mean, it'll be fun to see where this goes if they decide to do a story with the Ascension and the Outlaws, where it'll lead. Maybe it'll lead to a final showdown at WrestleMania with maybe, dare I say, a legendary tag team to come out of retirement for one match. Or maybe a triple threat tag team match or something. I don't know. Anything's possible. I mean, the big payoff came for Raw 1000. I don't see this ending any other way. There's going to be a big payoff for these guys in the end, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, I just definitely got to throw a plug out to Thursday night show for those who follow Wrestling with Death. Yeah, I said that. It's a show. It's a different show, unlike most reality shows that you have out there. Oscar and Sir Mo and Mimi welcome Derek King to the show, who is an independent wrestler, very familiar with the Memphis area, very familiar with the Lawler family. He will be on the show to talk about his wrestling career currently, where he's been, what he's been up to, and getting involved with one of the most unusual reality shows I think I've ever seen. And it'll be an interesting conversation, to say the least. Not only that, folks, we've got, as we mentioned several times, we've got Tough Enough contestant from season one, Greg Matthews coming to the show to talk about his time in Tough Enough, advice he has for the youngsters coming up. If they get into it, how much commitment it takes and so forth. Things have changed a lot since his time. So it'll be an interesting conversation. In the meantime, keep following us on our social media. If you don't know our social media, just check out our website,
radio.net. That's radio.net, and I would have been talking more and extinguishing the fire tonight, but the fire in my voice, isn't doing too well, but I mean, I'm sure I'm going to be back to normal next week, and I'm sure Felix and Nate are looking forward to it, just like I am.
Oh, yes. We're marking the days down on our calendar.
I know, even my mom is too. My grandparents, all of them, they're all marking the days down because they know exactly what they're looking forward to.
Of course, Austin, of course. But we'll go ahead and call it a night. We're going to give time. We're going to let Austin get off here so he can get some rest, get some much-needed rest, trying to rest that throat up and not scream so much at these wrestling events. But tune in next week, guys, for another edition of Pipebomb Radio. Check out Thursday nights, Nacho Mama's radio show. Keep up with us on social media, pipebombradio.net. Give us a rating on iTunes. And I think that'll be about it. On behalf of Austin, myself, and, of course, the absent Nate, we will end it for tonight. Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars, guys. Good night, everybody. Good night, Austin. Get better.
Mm-hmm.
All right.